Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to design a 3D house in AutoCAD. If you did the previous tutorial designing a 2D house plan, go and open that file where you save it. Go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the Freeze Layer button. AutoCAD asks you to select object on the layer to be frozen. Click the wall layer. Press Escape key. As you can see, the wall layer is being freeze. Now hold down your Control key and press the letter A key on your keyboard. Press Delete. Go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click Door button. This will bring back the wall. Now convert all these walls into polyline. How do you convert this wall into polyline? Go to the Home tab, Modify panel, and click the down arrow. Expanded panel will appear. Click the push pin button so that the panel will stay open. Now click the Edit Polyline button. AutoCAD asks you to select a polyline, but the line that we have in this drawing, they are not polyline. Select this line. AutoCAD asks you if you want to turn this line into polyline. Accept the default yes by pressing enter. Then the Edit Polyline menu appear. Select this option, Joint, and select these lines. Press enter. Press the escape key. AutoCAD convert this line into a polyline. Do the same thing for the rest of the line and convert them to polyline. Now, for the sake of those that don't did this tutorial, I'm going to start the drawing from scratch with basic explanation. So if you need more detail on how I create this plan, go and download the tutorial designing a 2D house plan. Go and open a new drawing. Type unit on your keyboard and press enter. This will open the unit dialog box. Change the unit, the length type to architectural and the precision to 1/8. Unit to scale inserted content, change it to inches. Click OK. Now right click the grid tab and select the grid setting. This will open the grid draft setting dialog box. Change the snap spacing into 6 inches. As you can see, when you change the X snap spacing, the Y spacing automatically change as long as the equal X and Y X spacing checkbox is checked. Now change the grid space to 12 inches. Click OK. Turn on the grid and turn on the snap. Press the zoom extend button. Go to the status bar and turn off the snap mode. Go to the Home tab, Draw panel, and click the polyline command. Start the drawing at the origin of 0, 0. Click once. Move the mouse cursor to 2 feet and type 2 feet 8 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor to the right and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor down and type 2 feet 2 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor to the right and type 3 feet 9 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse down and type 6 inches. Press enter. Press the letter C on your keyboard and press enter to close the figure. Go to the Home tab, Draw panel, and select the polyline command. At the specified starting point, type T key for temporal tracking. Press enter. Click this endpoint once and move the mouse cursor up. Now enter 6 feet and press enter. Press enter again to start the line command. Now go up and type 2 feet 8 inches. Press enter. Scroll the mouse wheel backward to zoom out. Move the mouse cursor to the right and enter 6 inches. Move the mouse cursor down and enter 2 feet 8 inches. Press enter. Enter C on your keyboard and press enter to close the figure. Press enter to start the polyline command again. Type T key on your keyboard and press enter. Use the endpoint object snap to pick this area. Now hold down your mouse wheel to temporarily pan the drawing down a little bit. Move up and enter 6 feet. Press enter twice. Now move the mouse cursor up and enter 2 feet 8 inches. Press enter. And move your mouse cursor to the right. Enter 4 feet 3 inches. Press enter. Move your mouse cursor down and enter 6 inches. Press enter. Move your mouse cursor to the left and type 3 feet 9. Press enter. Move your mouse cursor down and enter 2 feet 2. Press enter. Enter C on your keyboard to close the figure. Go to the Home tab, draw panel, and select the polyline command. Type T key on your keyboard and press enter. Use the endpoint object snap and click this area. Move the mouse cursor to the right and enter 6 feet. Press enter. Press enter again to start the polyline command. Move the mouse cursor to the right and type 4 feet 3 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor down and type 10 feet 6 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor to the right and type 9 feet. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor down and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor to the left and type 9 feet 6 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor up and type 10 feet 6 inches. Press enter. Move the mouse cursor to the left and type 3 feet 9 inches. Press enter. Enter C on your keyboard to close the figure. Press enter to start the polyline command again. Now type T key on your keyboard. Press enter. Use the endpoint object snap and click to snap to this area. Move to the right and enter 6 feet. Press enter and enter again to end the temporal tracking and start the polyline command. Now move to the right and type enter 4 feet 3 inches. Press enter. Move up and type 5 feet 6 inches. Press enter. Move to the right and type 12 inches. Press enter. Move up and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move to the left and type 18 inches. Press enter. Move down and type 66 for 5 feet 6. Press enter. Move to the left and type 3 feet 9 inches. Press enter. Enter C on your keyboard to close the figure. Press enter to start the polyline command again. Now Type T key on your keyboard to start the temporal tracking. Press enter. Use the endpoint object snap to track at this point. Move to the right and type 3 feet. Press enter twice to start the polyline command. Move to the right and type 3 feet or 36 inches. Press enter. Move down and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move to the left and type 36 inches. Press enter. Enter C on your keyboard to close the figure. Now go to the Draw Home tab, Draw panel, and click the polyline command. Type T key on your keyboard and press enter. Use the endpoint object snap and click. Move to the right and type 6 feet. Press enter. Press enter to start the polyline command. Now move to the right. Move to the right and type 4 feet 6 inches. Press enter. Move down and type 6 feet 6 inches. Press enter. Move in and type to the left and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move up and type 6 feet. Press enter. Move to the left and type 48 inches for 4 feet. Press enter. Enter C on your keyboard and press enter to close the figure. Now press enter to start the polyline command again. Hold down your mouse key to pan the drawing to the left. Now type T key on your keyboard and press enter. Use the endpoint object snap to start the tracking point here. Track 30 inches to the left. Press enter. Enter to stop the track command and start the polyline command. Move to the right and type 30 inches or 2 feet 6. Press enter. Move down and type 11 feet. Press enter. Move to the left and type 3 feet 6. Press enter. Move up and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move to the right and type 36 inches or 3 feet. Press enter. Move up and type 4 feet or 48 inches. Press enter. Move to the left and type 2 feet or 24 inches. Press enter. Move up and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move to the right and type 24 inches. Press enter. Move up and type 66 or 5 feet 6. Press enter. Move to the left and type 30 inches or 2 feet 6. Press enter. Move to the right and type 24 inches or 2 feet. Press enter. Enter C on your keyboard to close the figure. Press enter to start the polyline command again. Type TK to start the temporal tracking. Use the endpoint object snap to start the tracking point here. Move down your mouse cursor and type 3 feet or 36 inches. Press enter. Press enter to start the polyline command. Now move down and type 1 foot 9 inches. Press enter. Move to the right and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move up and type 1 foot 9 inches. Press enter. Enter C to close the figure. Press enter to start the polyline command again. Type TK on your keyboard and press enter to start a temporal tracking. Use the endpoint object snap and click. Move to the left and type 30 inches or 2 feet 6. Press enter. Press enter to end the track command and start the polyline command. Move to the left and enter 2 feet 6 inches. Press enter. Move down and type 6 feet. Press enter. Move to the right and type 66. Press enter. Move up and type 1 foot 9 inches. Press enter. Move to the left and type 6 inches. Press enter. Move down and type 15 inches or 1 foot 3, press enter. Move to the right and type 4 feet 6 inches, press enter. Move up and type 5 feet or 60 inches, press enter. Move to the right and type 2 feet or 24 inches, press enter. Move up and type 6 inches, press enter twice to end the command and close the figure. Now go to the navigation bar and click zoom extent. This is the base for our 3D drawing. Go to the layer panel and click the layer properties. This will open the layer properties manager. If you want to know more about how to set a layer, go and download the designing a 2D house plan in AutoCAD. Let's name this layer to wall and change its color, something like this one. Click the save icon on the quick access toolbar. Name the drawing designing a 3D house in AutoCAD and click save. As you can see, sometimes you want to draw 3D objects, but you need to use the 2D as a base for the 3D drawing. When you draw in a 3D dimension in AutoCAD, you need to be in a 3D workspace. That way you have all the 3D tools you need to draw. AutoCAD comes with 2 3D workspace, the 3D basic and the 3D modeling. Now let's take a look at them one by one. If I select the 3D basic, this can allow me to do a basic 3D drawing. But if I want to do a more complicated 3D drawing, I need to select the 3D modeling. But sometimes when you draw in AutoCAD, you need the 2D command very often. So because of that, I sometimes prefer to use the 2D drafting and annotation workspace. All I do is that when I'm in the 2D drafting and annotation workspace, go to the empty area on the ribbon and right click. A window will pop up. Now move down your cursor and hover the mouse cursor to show panel. Another window will appear. Follow this window and click and check the 3D tools. This way you bring 3D tools in a 2D environment. Now if you want to draw, if you want some 3D command, all you need to do, select this tab. You see, this way you have your 3D tools in a 2D environment. Now go to the V cube and click one of this corner. When you do, AutoCAD puts you in a 3D workspace. Now we need to extrude all this wall to the height that we need. So select all of this polyline and go to the 3D tool tab, modeling panel, and click extrude. As you can see, all the 2D plan are now switched to the 3D environment. AutoCAD asks you for a height. In this case, we need 9 feet 2 inches or 110 inches. Press enter. AutoCAD extrude the objects. Now we need to change the display of the drawing so that we can have a better understanding how it looks in the 3D environment. Click the 2D wireframe display, then move down and select conceptual. This will give a warm color in a 3D environment. Now move to the V cube and click the front face of the V cube. AutoCAD gives you elevation of the object that you have been drawn. Use a crossing window to select all of the 3D object that you draw. Click the home tab, layer panel, and change the layer to wall from layer 0 to wall. Press escape. Now use this compass to twist your drawing. Press your middle mouse button and rotate your drawing to have a clear understanding of what you are doing. So our drawing is being created. So we need to close some of this gap. Now we want the height from the floor to the window to the window height to be 3 feet 4 inches, which is 40 inches. Now I'll go to the 3D tools tab and click the box button. AutoCAD asks you to specify the first corner. Use the endpoint object snap and click it at the first corner. Now AutoCAD asks you to specify the other corner or cube or length option. Now let's use the default, the other corner option, by snapping to the opposite corner of where we click. Don't click this corner. If you do, this corner is adjacent with the first corner, so click the opposite corner. Click once. Now AutoCAD asks you to specify the height of the box that you draw. In this case, we need to you can click on the screen to specify the height, but we are not going to do that. All you need to do, enter 40 inches or 3 feet 4 and press enter. AutoCAD automatically draw the box for you. Now press enter to start the box command again. Click this corner and look for the opposite corner again. Click, press enter. AutoCAD still remember the height, the 40 inches height. Now the two boxes that you draw are on the wrong layer. Select the two boxes and go to the home tab and move them to the wall layer. Press escape. Now let's set the wall layer as the current layer. Go to the 3D tools, modeling panel, and click the box command. Select this corner and look for opposite corner. Press enter. AutoCAD still remember the previous height that you specify. The box command again, this corner, and select the opposite corner. Press enter. Zoom out, hold down your shift key and press the middle mouse button and move the mouse around to orbit your drawing. Now choose your drawing like this and move the mouse wheel forward to zoom in. Select the box command, click on this vertex, move the mouse at this other vertex, press enter. AutoCAD still remember the height. Now we need to create another height from the floor to the toilet window. Go to the box command, hold down your shift key and the middle mouse button and push the mouse slightly so that you can see your drawing. Now select this vertex, move to select the opposite vertex. Now enter 60 inches, press enter. Hold down your shift key with the middle mouse button to turn your drawing. Select the box command, click the opposite, press enter. AutoCAD still remember the 60 inches. Now we need to draw our lintel. Now go to the 3D tool tab and click the box panel and click the box command on the modeling panel. Click this vertex and move to the opposite vertex. Now move down your mouse cursor and type 22 inches, press enter. AutoCAD draw the beam for you. Press enter to start the box command again. Select this vertex, move down to this corner and press enter. AutoCAD still remember the previous entry. Box command, select this vertex, this one, press enter. Box command, select this vertex, press enter. Press enter to start. Select this box, select the box command, click on this vertex, opposite vertex, press enter. Press enter to start the box command again. Select this vertex, opposite, press enter. Press enter to start the box command again. This vertex, opposite, press enter. Now all the objects in this drawing, in this 3D model, are separated objects. You need to join them into one. Go to the 3D Tools tab, Modeling panel, and click the Union. The Union command asks you to select objects. Use a window selection to select all of these objects and press enter. AutoCAD unites all of the objects into one object. Go to the Quick Access toolbar and click the Save button. Now go to the 3D Tools tab, Modeling panel, and click the Box command. Select this corner. For the opposite corner, hover your cursor in this area and also hover it in this area. Now move. When you see the temporal intersection objects, now click. Move down your mouse cursor and type 12 inches, press enter. Save your drawing. Now it's time for us to draw the roof. Let's go to the plan, to the top view. So go to the Home tab, Draw panel, and select the rectangle command. Draw a rectangle from this area to this area. Press enter again to start the rectangle command. Draw another rectangle from this vertex to this zoom in vertex. Press enter to start the rectangle command again. Pick this vertex for the first corner of the rectangle. Move your mouse cursor in this area and zoom in closely. Hover your mouse cursor. When you see a plus sign, move gently to the edge of this wall and you see a temporal intersection line. Click. Now we have drawn 3 rectangles. Let's freeze the walls. Press escape. Go to the top view. Now select this rectangle and change its color so that we can distinguish the difference between the rectangle. Let's give it a red color. Press escape. Select this rectangle. Go to the Home tab, Properties panel, and click this arrow. Click this down arrow and change its color to blue. Press escape. Select this rectangle. Go to the Home tab, Properties panel, and click this arrow to display the menu, the panel. Click the down arrow, select yellow and press escape. Save your drawing. Select all three of the rectangle and go to the home tab, modify panel, explode. The rectangles has been exploded into normal line. Now select the offset command, enter 24 inches for the offset distance. Select this line, offset this line off. Select this line, offset it down. Press enter and press enter again to start the offset command. This time around, enter 2 feet 6. Press enter. Select this line, offset it to the left. Select this line, offset it to the right. Press escape. Go to the home tab, modify panel, and select the fillet command. AutoCAD asks you to select the first object. When you do, then you select the second object. AutoCAD add an arc between the 2 points, the 2 lines, based on the radius that you specify if you use the radius option. Now enter R for the radius option. Then if I enter a distance of 2 feet, press enter. Now if I select this line, then select this other line, AutoCAD add the arc between the 2 endpoints. Now I'm going to undo the fillet command and go to the home tab, modify panel, and select the fillet command again. Enter R for the radius option. The radius, enter 0. Select this line and select this one. AutoCAD fillets the line. The 2 lines are meet at a point because the fillet radius is 0. Press enter again to repeat the fillet command. This time around, enter R for multiple option. Select this line to this one. Select this one and this and this. Press escape. Now go to the offset command. Accept the default 2 feet 6. If yours is not already 2 feet 6, enter 2 feet 6. Offset this line up and offset it down. Select the yellow line and offset it up. Select the yellow line and offset it down. Now select this yellow line and move your mouse cursor to the right, but instead of click, enter 24 inches and press enter. AutoCAD override the 2 feet 6. Do the same thing to the left, enter 24 inches or 2 feet, press enter. Select the blue line, move to the right, enter 24 inches and press enter. Go to the home tab, modify panel, and click the fillet command. Select this line and this line. Press enter to repeat the fillet command. This time around, enter M on your keyboard and press enter. This will put you in a multiple option. Select this one. Now with the multiple options selected, you can fillet as many objects as you want. Press escape when you finish filleting the object that you want to select. Now in this model we have 3 different type of roofs, or our roof will going to slope in 3 different directions. Let's hide the other 2 and deal with the one first. Select all the blue and the yellow lines. Right click and move your mouse cursor to isolation. Pause for a second. Another window will pop up. Select the second option, which says hide object. Now we're going to deal with the rectangle alone. Go to the view cube and click at this vertex. As you can see, the rectangle is above the plan. This represents the top level of our wall at the position where we want to start our roof. Now if I bring back the wall by clicking the door layer button, as you can see, the rectangle, this outer rectangle represents the overhanging of the roof. This internal rectangle represents the circumference of the portion where the roof needs to be covered. Now let's isolate this object again. This time around, instead of you freeze the layer again, I also want you to know another option. Click the down arrow and select previous. When you do, AutoCAD send you back to the previous state of the layer. Now go to the view cube and click this area, this portion which is front. Now we are in front mode. We want to draw another line. This line represents the level of the wall. So we want to draw another line at the slope of the roof. But this can be very easy for us if we are in a plan. If we are in a plan view. In this case, we are in the XZ plan. So we want to be in the XY plan. How do we do it? Right click the UCS and select view. When you do, AutoCAD change the current view into the X and Y plan. Now to draw the angle of our roof, go to the Home tab, Draw Panel, click the Polyline command. Use the endpoint object snap and select this endpoint. Now we want to draw a line at an 18-degree angles, an angle of 18 degree, but it's very difficult for us because we are in ortho mode. When you are in ortho mode, you can only draw at orthogonal angle. That means you can only draw from 0, 90, 207, 180 and 270 degree. To draw in non-orthogonal angle, you need to toggle the polar tracking by pressing the F10 key on your keyboard or by clicking this button. Now when you do, click this down arrow and change the setting from 90 degree to 18 degree. Now whenever you move your mouse cursor, AutoCAD snap in any 18 degree. So now move down your mouse cursor at this area and pause. Move it up slightly until click. Press escape once. Now hold down your shift key and now hold down your shift key on your keyboard and hold the middle mouse button to orbit and see your design. This is the profile for our roof. Now all you need to do, select this line, go to the 3D Tools tab, Modeling panel and click Extrude. Move your cursor and click at this vertex. Go to the Home tab and click the Save button. Hold down your Shift key with your middle mouse button to better orient the roof. As you can see, this roof is drawn on layer 0. So we need to change the layer of the roof. Go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the Layer Properties button. Click the new layer icon and create a new layer. Rename the layer Roof. Click this button and give it whatever color you want to give it. I'm going to give mine this 104, index color 104. Close. Now select my roof, click the down arrow and change to the roof layer. I'm going to also change the visual style. Click this conceptual visual style and select realistic. Now right click this UCS and select world. This returns it to the world coordinate system. One of our roof has been created. To better see our roof in the model, go and click the door button to bring back the model. See, this is our first roof. Go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the down arrow, select Previous. Right click in the drawing area and select Isolate. Move your cursor and select the option End Isolate, End Object Isolation. Go to the top view by clicking on top of the view cube. Select the roof and hide it. Select the red and the yellow lines, leave only the blue lines. And isolate, hide object. Now go to the Home tab, Modify panel, Offset. Offset distance, enter 24 inches. Offset this blue line to the left. Now go to the Home tab, Modify panel, Fillet. Select this line and select fillet it to this one. Press enter to start the fillets command again. Now press M on your keyboard and press enter for multiple options. Select this line, select and fillet it to a radius of 0. Fillet it to a radius of 0. Press enter. Also, as we did in the previous step, we need to see this rectangle in a 3-dimensional. Click on this vertex. As you can see, the rectangle is above the plan. Click on this vertex to get a better orientation. Or you can also use your Shift key and the middle mouse button. Hold down your Shift key and press the middle mouse button to orbit around your model. All right. Now go to the V cube and click the right button. With the right button selected, hover your mouse cursor to the UCS and right click, select View option. Go and change the angle of the polar tracking by clicking this down arrow. This time around, set it to 15-degree increment. Go to the Home tab, Draw panel and select the polyline command. Use this endpoint object snap and click for the first point. Now move your mouse cursor and hover it at this endpoint. Move up straight, follow this faint line until you see the polar track in red 15-degree increment. Now go to the Home tab, draw panel and select the polyline. Use the endpoint object snap. Move the mouse cursor to 15-degree increment. Make sure that the new line goes beyond the endpoint of the blue line. Click once. Press escape. Start the line command again. Start at this point and move it vertical. Click. Press escape. Now go to the Home tab, modify panel and select the trim command. Press enter. Clean up this object. Select the short line and erase it. Hold down your mouse, but hold down your shift key and the middle mouse button to orient the view in 3 dimensions. Now go to the 3D tools, select this line, extrude, to get a better view of the progress of our model. Go to the Home tab, layer panel and click the third layer button. This will bring the model. Then select this roof, click this down arrow and change it to the roof layer. Press escape. Now right click and move down to isolate. Follow the menu and select end object isolation. As you can see, 2 of our roof has been drawn. Go to the Home tab, layer panel and click the down arrow. Select the previous layer button. Go to the top view. Use this arrow. When you select the top view, sometimes the model is not oriented to the position where you want it to be, but that will not be a problem. Use this arrow to spin, rotate around the model. Select the 2 roof, right click, isolate, hide object. Select all the blue lines, the red lines, and leave only the yellow ones. Hide all of these objects. Hide all of these objects. Now use the view cube. Hover your mouse cursor to the UCS and right click, world. Use the view cube by clicking this vertex. This places you in a 3-dimensional mode. Go and select the left view. Go down and change the snap increment from, change it to 6. But as you can see, there is no 6 in this view, in this list. You have 90-degree increment, 45-degree, 30, 23, 18, 15, 10, 5. Now we need 6 feet increment, 6-degree increment. Click the tracking setting button. This will bring the track dialog box. Type in a new value. This case, enter 6. Click OK. Hover your mouse cursor into the UCS icon and right click. Select view. Go to the Home tab, Draw panel, and select Polyline. Use the Endpoint Object Snap and click at this point. Move your mouse cursor until you have the 12 degree that you are looking for. Now make sure your new line goes beyond the yellow one and click. Press Escape. Press Enter to start the line command again. Now click this endpoint. Move the line up to 90 degree and click. Press Escape. Go to the Home tab, Modify panel, and select the Trim command. Press Enter to clean up these lines. Press Escape. Now erase the short line. Position your mouse cursor to the UCS and right click. Select World. This will put you in World Coordinates system. Now hold down your Shift key and orbit the drawing to get a better view. Go to the 3D Tool tab, Model panel, and click the Extrude command. Select this line and press Enter. Move the mouse to this endpoint and click. Go to the Home tab, select this roof, change it, put it into the right layer. Press Escape. Now right click in the drawing area, move to Isolate and follow the menu, End Object Isolation. Go to the Layer panel and select Draw All Frozen Layer. Now our roof is almost complete, but we have some problem. As you can see, this roof intersects with this one. This is not what I intend, but that's okay. When you have a situation like this, in most cases, a step roof doesn't mean all the roof can start in the same level. So we're going to raise this roof a little higher than the other. But first, let's try to extend the boundary of the walls to a point where we can see our roof better. Select all these roofs. Escape. Go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the Freeze Layer button. Freeze all the roof. Press Escape. Now we still need some of this line as a reference. We need to draw another 3D wall, a wall that can divide our roofs. So go to the 3D Tool tab, Modeling panel, and select the Box command. With the Box command selected, click on this area between the room and the living. Then move your mouse cursor and the opposite side, click. Move it, make sure that it goes above the roof. You can slice it later. Move it something like 10 feet or 120. You can slice the wall afterwards. Press Enter to start the command again. This time around, select at this point and this point. Press Enter to accept the same. Now go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the Door button. Select the back slope roof. Select the back slope roof and go to the Home tab, Modify panel, move. Use this vertex as a base point. Normally, when you want to move AutoCAD, when you want to move a surface in AutoCAD, you have a warning like this. But all you need to do, just select the continue option. We'll explain more about this when we create a tutorial on surface. Select the continue option and move the row vertical to the Z direction. Now enter 10 inches on your keyboard, press enter. Then we need to trim these boundaries, and we also need to, some of our roof extend much in the area that we don't want them to extend, but that's okay. To do this, there is a series of steps to correct a problem like this, but I'm going to show you a method that we can use for the meantime. In the future tutorial, you may find a better method of doing it. Go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the Freeze Layer button. Select to freeze all the roof. Go to the view cube and click the top portion to go back to the floor area. Now, let's isolate all these objects, the 3D objects. Let's hide all the 3D objects. Selecting the 3D object, select all the 3D objects, right click, isolate, hide object. Let's select all the excess temporal line that we grid for the roof and hide all of them also. Let's create a profile. Then we extrude that profile to intersect our roof. We trim the two surfaces together. Then from the edge of the surface, we can trace the edge of the surface to get a profile for the actual roof. But before we do, let's create a separate layer for this temporal profile. Go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the Layer property. Go to the New tab and select to create a new layer. Now rename the layer something like, let's rename it something like no. Then let's give it a color that we don't assign it to any of our objects. That way we can distinguish it from the other objects. I think magenta will be a good color. Click OK. Now let's click the down arrow and set the no layer to be the current layer. Go to the Home tab, Draw panel, and select the polyline command. Select this angle, move your mouse and select this angle. Move your mouse and select, just move it past the drawing because this line is a temporal line. You can erase it afterwards. Press escape, press enter to start the same line again. This time around, zoom, click on this area, move and zoom in by rolling the mouse wheel forward. Click here, move it past this so that you can easily select it when you finish what you are doing. Click and press escape. Now go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and draw the layer to bring back the layers. Click this vertex, right click, isolate, and object isolation. Now go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the restore button to bring back our roof. Now hide this roof. Select the roof, right click, select isolate, hide object. Do the same thing for this one. Right click, isolate, hide object. Select this line. Go to the 3D tools, modeling panel, and select extrude. Move the mouse up and enter enter 8 feet. Hold down your shift key to orient in this area. The shift key with the middle mouse button to orient in this area. Now go to the 3D tools tab, surface panel, and click this down arrow, select trim. Select this magenta line, this magenta surface, and the green roof surface. Press enter. Select the two surface for the second time. Press enter again. Now click the unwanted area to trim that area. So this is exactly what we want. But if now we erase this one, what will happen? You see, the two surfaces, since they are trimmed together, they are associative. If you erase one of them, the other one return back to the previous state where it was before you use the trim command. Now go to the quick access toolbar and click the undo button. So all you need to do before you erase the one of the surface, create a profile around the edge of this one. So how do you do that? Go to the home tab, draw panel, and click the down arrow. Select the 3D polyline. Now start from this corner to this corner to this corner and to this corner, this corner, this corner. Enter C on your keyboard to close the figure. So if I erase this one, you see this surface goes back to the previous state where it was before I used the erase command. Now I don't need this surface anymore. I already have a profile, so I can use that profile to create a surface. So select this surface and erase it. Now select this profile, go to the 3D tools tab, surface panel, and select plan. AutoCAD converts the profile into a surface. Select the surface, go to the home tab, layer panel, and click the drop down and move it to the roof layer. Press escape. Now right click and move down your mouse cursor to isolate. Follow the pop-up menu and end isolation. Now select this roof and select this line. Right click, isolate, and select isolate objects. All other objects are hide except the two that you select. Let's repeat the same process. Now select this polyline, 3D tools panel tab, 3D tools tab, modeling panel, extrude. Hold down your shift key with your middle mouse button to get a better orientation. Just move freely on the screen and click. You can erase all of this stuff afterwards. Orient the model to get a better view. Now go to the 3D tools tab, surface panel, and click the down arrow, select trim. Select the two surfaces and press enter. Select them again and press enter for the second time. Now delete the unwanted area. Escape. Go to the home tab. Draw panel and click the down arrow. Select the 3D polyline. Select this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner. C to close the figure. Now, if I erase this surface, the other surface updated to the state here it was before the trim command is used. Select this surface again, erase it. Now, go to the 3D tool tabs, surface panel, and select the plan. AutoCAD asks you to specify the first starting point of the first corner of the plan. As you can see, if you look at the command line, the prompt says specify first corner or object which is the default. Now press enter to accept the default option which is object. Select this profile and press enter. AutoCAD convert the profile into a roof. Now go to the home tab, select the surface and move it to the right layer by selecting the roof layer. Press escape. The roof is now drawn. Then now right click and select isolate and object isolation. We still have something to do. This roof is going beyond this wall, which is not a good practice. So we need to trim off this portion. So how do we do that? Let's draw another profile. Now select this 3D object and right click and select, hover the mouse cursor to isolate, hide object. Go to the layer panel and select the freeze layer button to freeze your roof layer. Press escape. Go to the view cube and click the top. If your model orients like this, click this arrow to rotate it in other direction. Now go to the home tab, layer panel, and select the polyline command. Zoom your mouse cursor and click in this area. Move to the right until you see an endpoint object snap like this one. Click, move 6 inches and click, then move to the right and click. Click the down arrow and select previous layer. Then right click in the drawing area, isolate end object isolation. Go to the view cube and click this vertex to get a better orientation. Hold down your shift key and spin the model. Now select the magenta line you just draw. Go to the 3D tools tab, solid modeling panel, and click extrude. Extrude this line upwards. Now select the roof, the surface, and this profile. Right click and select isolate objects. Now you isolate the 3 objects that you select. Go to the 3D tools tab, surface panel, and click the down arrow against trim. Select trim. Select the 2 surfaces and press enter. Select them again and press enter. Click to get rid of the unwanted area. Press escape. Now select this line, the first profile that we grid in the previous steps. Move down your mouse cursor and now select this line. Move your mouse in this vertex, in this grip. Hover your mouse, a window will appear. Move down to the window and select add vertex. AutoCAD allow you to add vertex. Move your mouse cursor and click in this area. a new vertex is being added. Now, hover your mouse cursor. When it's turned to red, click it once. Move it in this area. Click. Hover your mouse cursor. When it's turned to red, and click it once. Move into this area. Now, hover your mouse cursor again. Add vertex. Move in any area to get a better view. You can bring it back to the right position afterwards. Now, hover your mouse cursor in this position. When the grip turns red, click it once. Move it at this corner. Do the same thing for the grip. When it turns red, click it once. Move it at this corner. Now, escape. Erase the two surface. Then select this profile. Go to the surface panel and click plan. AutoCAD convert the surface to plan. Select the surface. Go to the home tab, layer panel, and move it to the roof layer. Press escape. Now click the down button to bring all the freeze layer. Then right click and select isolate. End isolation. Our roof is now complete. We also need to clean up the roof. Go to the 3D tool tabs. Solid edit panel, select slice. AutoCAD asks you to select object to slide. Select this 3D object and press enter. But when you look at the command line, there are also another option like object, surface, z-axis, view, xy, yz, zx. Now we're going to use the surface option by entering S on your keyboard. Press enter. Select the surface. Then AutoCAD asks you to select object to keep, or if you want to keep both objects, just press enter. In this case, we don't want to keep both of the object. We only need this object. So the other area that you don't select is get rid of, and the one that you select is remaining. As you can see, the slice command use the surface of the roof to slice the wall. So the wall is showing in above because it slices at 0 distance. So we need to get rid of this problem. There is so many ways of doing this. One of the way of doing it, you need to give a thicken to the surface, or you move these objects down a little bit. Whichever method you prefer is up to you. Now select this solid, go to the home tab, modify panel, and select the move command. Select this vertex, move down your mouse cursor and move the wall point 0.5 inches and press enter. So now the wall is below the roof ½ inch. So let's do the same thing for this one. Go to the 3D tool tabs, solid edit panel, and select slice. Select this wall, press enter. Enter S for the surface option, press enter. Select the surface and press enter. Now, since we don't select any of the two objects, we press enter. AutoCAD retain with all two of the objects, but they are now two different solid. Select the top one and click delete on your keyboard. Select this solid, go to the home tab, modify panel, and select the move command. Click on this area, move down your mouse cursor and enter 0.5 inches. Press enter. Save your drawing. Now we need to fill in these gaps. We need to fill in these gaps. So let's isolate the roof. Let's hide the roof. Go to the Home tab, Layer panel, and click the Freeze Layer button. Click to hide the roof. Then now, go to the 3D tool tabs, Box, Modeling panel, and select the Box command. Click on this area and move your mouse cursor to this area. Move up and click. Press enter to start the Box command again. Start from this area, and move up. Box command, click this area, and move up. Box command, start from this area, the opposite corner, and move up. Start from this area, opposite area, move up and enter 8 feet. Press enter. Start from this corner, move and press enter to accept the previous input. Do the same thing here. Click, move. Now go to the Home tab and click this button to bring all of your layers again. "3D tools, solid edit panel, and select slice command. Select this solid, select this solid, select this solid, press enter. Enter S for the surface option, press enter and select this surface. Press enter, then select the 3 remainings and click delete on your keyboard. Select the slice command again. Select this solid, press enter. Enter S for the surface option. Select the surface and select this one. Erase. Select the slide command again. Select this solid and this solid. Press enter. S for surface option. Press enter. Select this surface. Press enter. Erase this object. Now this you cannot slice this solid with this surface. The reason being that this surface is partially into this 3D object. AutoCAD you can only use this option in the slice command if a surface passed through a solid. If the surface is partially the 3D object, this option is not going to work. So we can use another option. Select this solid and select the surface, right click and select isolate object. So all the other objects in the drawing are gone except for the surface. Now, as you can see, the surface is partially to the 3D object. Now right click now select the UCS. When the UCS is highlighted, hover your mouse cursor in this grip and select move and align. When you do, AutoCAD automatically align this UCS to the surface that you move the UCS to. Click. So now this surface become the plan of the drawing. You can tell in the view cube because the view cube is now slant slightly. Now go to the 3D modeling tab and select the box panel. Click on this area and draw a box pass through the object that you want to subtract. Move it in the up direction. Click. Our box is being drawn. Now position your mouse cursor to the UCS and right click. Select the world option. Orbit your drawing until it will rent like mine. Go to the 3D tool tabs, solid edit panel and select subtract command. Subtract a 3D object from another 3D object. Select this object and press enter. Then select this object and press enter again. AutoCAD subtracts the object. Now right click in the drawing area, isolate and object isolation. Save your drawing. Select this line, right click, select similar. Press delete on your keyboard. Go to the home tab, modify panel and click freeze layer button. Freeze the roof layer. Select the freeze layer button again and click to freeze the walls layer. Select one of these walls, right click and select similar. Go to the home tab, modify panel and click the move command. Click, move down to the Z direction and type 0.5 inches. Press enter to move down these objects below. Select the object again and this one, right click, select similar, right click and select hide object. Use a window to select all of these 2D lines, the profiles lines and erase. Now go to the layer panel and thaw all your layers. Right click and select isolate and object isolation. Save your drawing. Now select the freeze layer button, select the roof to freeze it. Select this magenta object and select this white object, right click, select similar, change its layer to wall, press escape. Now go to the 3D tool, solid edit panel and select union. Select this object. Use a window selection to select all the 3D objects on drawing and press enter. AutoCAD unites all the 3D objects. Now go to the Home tab and bring all of your layer back. Save your drawing. Thanks for watching. If you find this tutorial useful, please click the like button. If you want to continue the tutorial, please subscribe to my channel.